Hi friends, this is Jarle for Cloud9 Crafts. Thanks for joining. In this video I want to talk a little bit about the masking technique using a stamp map and a Misti. I hope you'll enjoy. Now let's dive right into today's card making project. I'll be using this My Rainbow stamp set from Lawn Fawn. I already die cut a small stitched rectangle out of Transotype perfect coloring paper. Then I trimmed down a piece of regular printer paper to the exact same size, so it's about 5 by 3 3/4 inches. Now the printer paper will be my stamp map, and this will help me tremendously with my masking that I will be doing here. So in fact, a stamp map, so this piece of paper, is going to be like my guide for my placement of different images, and I will show you how this works later in the video. So what I'm doing here first is to decide where I want my images on my card panel. So I'm just playing with the different stamps from the set to see how and where I want them. Also thinking about where I want my sentiment to go. Once I'm happy with the placement, it's time to work on my stamp map. So I will be stamping all my images first on this thin piece of printer paper. And here it doesn't really matter what you stamp first. You just want to stamp all the images so you can use this piece of paper as a guide for your masking later. And then you don't have to think about where to put everything or what to stamp first. You do the thinking now, and this makes it so much easier later on when you're actually stamping on your card panel. And then once everything is stamped on the stamp map, what I always do is I put down numbers on what to stamp first on my card panel. So when you're doing a one-layer card, you need to stamp what's in front first. So the unicorn will be in front of the rainbow and in front of the clouds. So I have to stamp that first. And then my clouds will be in front of the rainbow. So I will have to stamp these second. And then my rainbow will be the third thing I have to stamp. Okay, so now I'm putting my stitched card panel with the perfect coloring paper in my Misti first. Then I put this stamp map on top, and I use this map to place my unicorn just where I want it. And on the map it says number 1, so I have to stamp the unicorn first. So here I'm removing that stamp map and stamping the unicorn on my panel. And I'm using jet black ink for this, since I will be Copic coloring all of my images later on. So here I am stamping that cute unicorn on my card panel. Now I need some masks. So I stamped my images onto Gina K masking paper and I fussy cut all my images. So I'm taking that mask of the unicorn and carefully placing it on top of the stamped image. Then here I'm taking my stamp map again, placing it inside my Misti, and it says that I have to stamp the clouds second. So I'm taking both of my clouds here and putting them on that stamp map for placement, picking up my stamps with my Misti, removing the stamp map, and then I'm inking up the stamps. And I stamp the clouds onto my card panel here. Then I'm taking those masks of the clouds and I'm putting these on top of the stamped images. And then for the final step, I'm taking my stamp map yet again, placing my rainbow right on top, picking up the stamp with the door of my Misti, removing my stamp map, and then stamping my rainbow on my card panel. So now all my images should be in the right place. Now I can remove all my masks. I'm using my pokey tool here, and you'll see that I have perfect placement of every little image on this scene. Maybe you don't need this kind of stamp map when you're making a one-layered scene, but I really do. I need to do some think work before I work on my actual cards, or I'll make too many mistakes. And this method of using a stamp map really takes the guesswork out of it. I also stamped my sentiment since I already had my Misti out, so I thought this would be more efficient. Again, doing this in jet black ink because I will be coloring a part of that sentiment with my Copic colors too. I did do all my coloring off camera and now I'm just finishing off the cards. I'm taking a piece of paper out of the really rainbow paper pads, and this is my absolute favorite paper pad of all times. It has so many gorgeous patterned papers in all the rainbow colors. So I trimmed that paper down to 5.5 by 4.25 inches, and I'm adhering it to a white card base. I think it's a side folded card base. And here you see that colored scene. I will list my Copic combinations below in the description box. I also added some black splatters on my card panel. Then I'm putting some foam tape on the back of the panel and putting it down onto my card base. And this finishes off the card for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you love this project, give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to this channel for more card making tutorials. Until next time, happy crafting! Bye!